Every day after work, the girl opens her balcony door, puts on headphones and picks up binoculars. Because the woman opposite is not just her boss, but also the vixen who stole her boyfriend. Little does she know, her boyfriend used therapy sessions as an excuse to make moves on Han Sol-ah. He even used hypnosis to make Han Sol-ah agree to date him. To get revenge on Sol-ah, the girl didn't just quit her job, but also got a job at Sol-ah's company, and rented an apartment across from hers to watch her every move. As a result, she discovered a shocking secret. Han Sol-ah's last 3 boyfriends all died in accidents. But before she could reveal the secret, she became the 4th to die in an accident. The detective was about to rule it a suicide when he received an anonymous tip. The woman who died at Royal Auction House didn't commit suicide. The next day, a video of an argument between the deceased and auctioneer Han Sol-ah was released. Coincidentally, the argument happened just an hour before she fell. The police immediately checked the auction house's CCTV. They found that the time the victim went to the rooftop and the time Han Sol-ah went up were only 4 minutes apart. Now, Han Sol-ah was almost certainly the culprit. If they could just find the anonymous caller, they could officially arrest her. But there were no cameras near the public phone booth, making it hard to find the witness. Luckily, a car was parked right across from the booth, its dashcam still flashing a red light. Unfortunately, the car owner, a supermarket manager, was uncooperative, lying that she had lost the car keys long ago. With no other choice, insurance investigator Cha Woo-sok had to step in. After all, dealing with people is a required skill for an insurance agent. After buying a few boxes of expiring goods, the manager finally gave him a warm smile. Soon, a young woman appeared in the video. The timing of the call and her cautious demeanor perfectly matched the witness. Unfortunately, she wore a hat the whole time, so her face couldn't be identified. The police had to rely on her figure to trace the woman's movements. And try to find a lead from there. But the woman traveled across half of Korea without ever showing her face. She was clearly skilled at avoiding surveillance. It was unclear if she was being deliberate or confident she had shaken off any tails. Finally, she swiped her card to enter the subway station. Meanwhile, the suspected culprit, auctioneer Han Sol-ah, had just finished a video call when her doorbell suddenly rang. Opening the door, she only saw a gift bag on her doorstep. But as soon as she saw what was inside, her eyes widened in shock. A name was written on it, Yoon Sung-jae, the name of her recently deceased ex-boyfriend. Without a second thought, she immediately put down the wine bottle and rushed downstairs to see the delivery person. But she was a step too late. The delivery person had already sped off. Still, she didn't give up, checking the visitor log in the security office, but found nothing. She then asked to see the elevator's CCTV footage. But the guard said she needed the manager's approval the next day. Fortunately, the next morning, the guard sent her a screenshot from the camera. But when she saw the logo on the delivery person, her expression grew even more serious. Because this delivery company was a partner of her own company. In other words, the sender was an insider. As if realizing something, Han Sol-ah immediately went to find the photographer, her only male friend. Do Eun-hyuk, did you send me that bottle of wine? Hearing this, Eun-hyuk's smile vanished, but faced with Sol-ah's accusation, he seemed to hesitate, until Sol-ah misunderstood, thinking he also suspected her of killing her ex. He finally told her the truth. Sung-jae asked me to do it. It turns out that while Yoon Sung-jae was alive, he had a premonition that he wouldn't live long. So, he asked their mutual friend, Do Eun-hyuk, that if he were to die unexpectedly, to send this bottle of wine to Han Sol-ah. These words left Han Sol-ah stunned. This not only showed that Sung-jae knew about the curse that dating Sol-ah meant death, but also that he suspected Sol-ah would kill him. But before Sol-ah could compose herself, a young woman suddenly burst in. Seeing Sol-ah about to leave, she arrogantly asked if she had received the wine. That's right, the wine was sent by this girl, Do Eun-hyuk's sister, Do Eun-hae. Since Do Eun-hyuk knew the wine's meaning, he couldn't bring himself to send it. He didn't expect his sister to go behind his back. The reason she was so hostile toward Han Sol-ah was because she knew any man who got close to her would end up dead. So, she wanted to break them up, to keep her brother away from this jinx. Although Han Sol-ah knew this, she didn't know that the sister had done something even worse. She lied about being the witness. Yes, she was the anonymous informant. Faced with the detective's questions, she had to lie, saying on the day Kim Woon-ji died, she saw a panicked Han Sol-ah coming down from the rooftop. At the same time, Cha Woo-sok wasn't idle either. He found Kim Woon-ji's car in the auction house's basement. Then, using his special skills, he easily got into the car and found 2 key pieces of evidence. One was a pair of binoculars. The other, an access card for an apartment complex. The thing is, Kim Woon-ji still lived with her mother, and the police found no leads at her home. Could Kim Woon-ji have had another residence? Using his connections in the delivery industry, Cha Woo-sok quickly found the apartment complex. But to find the specific apartment, he had to try each unit one by one. Finally, after trying all 7 floors, a door opened. Room 702. He cautiously pushed open the long unopened door. Before him was an extremely empty room. Besides a model house on the table, there was nothing. He curiously pressed the remote. and the model just lit up. Nothing unusual, but when he opened the balcony door, the hair on his neck stood up, because he saw a familiar figure. The suspected killer, auctioneer Han Sol-ah, combined with the binoculars from the car. The truth was obvious. Kim Woon-ji had been spying on Han Sol-ah. As if sensing something, he looked inside the model house. And sure enough, he found a camera. Removing the model's roof, a phone was revealed. Unfortunately, the battery was dead. Then, looking at the two Lego figures outside the model, the male figure was dressed as a doctor, and Han Sol-ah's second boyfriend was a psychiatrist. So, the next day, as Han Sol-ah was hosting an auction, the police suddenly stormed in and when she refused to cooperate, arrested her in front of everyone. This scene not only shocked everyone present, but also made Cha Woo-sok sense a conspiracy. Sure enough, in the parking lot, he saw two people arguing. One of them was the witness, the sister, Do Eun-hye. Her brother, furious about her lies, shook off her hand and headed to the police station. But before Cha Woo-sok could figure out what to do, he suddenly got a call. Did you unlock it? It turned out the phone from the model was password protected, so he had sent it to be unlocked. When the technician succeeded, a series of audio files were sent to Cha Woo-sok's phone. But the priority now was to get Han Sol-ah out. Otherwise, if the media reported it, her career would be completely ruined. Meanwhile, faced with the police's evidence that she and the victim went to the rooftop 4 minutes apart, plus the witness seeing her come down, Han Sol-ah was forced to tell the truth. She said that she did go look for Kim Woon-ji that day. But by the time she got to the rooftop, the person had already fallen. To avoid any misunderstanding, she had hidden her movements that day. The female officer was scornful, saying a normal person's first reaction would have been to call the police. Her actions were completely illogical. Unexpectedly, Han Sol-ah suddenly asked to see her friend, Do Eun-hyuk. To avoid being overheard, she even whispered to him. Little did she know, in the monitoring room was someone who could lip read a little. The insurance investigator, Cha Woo-sok. So when Do Eun-hyuk returned to the company and went to the rooftop greenhouse, Cha Woo-sok was already waiting. Looking for this? As it turned out, the time Han Sol-ah passed through the greenhouse matched the time of Kim Woon-ji's fall. In other words, this video became Han Sol-ah's alibi. With this, Han Sol-ah was completely exonerated. The police decided to close the case as a suicide, but this left Cha Woo-sok filled with self-doubt. After all, his motto had always been, there's no such thing as a simple accident. Could Han Sol-ah really be a femme fatale, causing anyone who dared to love or hate her to die in an accident? No, this isn't a fantasy film. It's a thriller. In other words, there must be a killer. And that person is hiding among those we've met. Besides the characters already introduced, the film has 4 seemingly minor characters, who are actually quite suspicious. First is Han Sol-ah's boss, Chairwoman Kim, the head of Royal Auction House. She often cooks personally for Han Sol-ah. When Sol-ah was arrested by the police, she even cooked a fine fish soup to visit her in jail. But Han Sol-ah was unexpectedly released early. The two of them talk intimately, like mother and daughter. But when Han Sol-ah isn't around, she opens a secret room. Inside, besides famous paintings, there's a family portrait of 3 in the center. She stands before the painting and mutters, "Your daughter is nothing like you. That's why I like her." But the like she mentions isn't genuine. It's because Sol-ah cooperates with her in fake auctions, selling worthless paintings for exorbitant prices. Second is Baek Jun-bom, a chaebol's son, who always has a sinister look and greatly admires Han Sol-ah. During one encounter, he despicably suggested that if Han Sol-ah accepted his unspoken rule, he would entrust his most valuable collection to her for auction. Han Sol-ah's response was exemplary. "It seems I've misunderstood you. I didn't expect the director of Unicorn to mix personal feelings with business. That kind of man is not admired by women." Then she pretended to walk away, forcing Baek Jun-bom to save face, apologizing for his recent lack of control. Third is Han Sol-ah's best friend, a cafe owner. On the surface, she cares deeply for Han Sol-ah, but on the day Kim Woon-ji fell, she blocked Han Sol-ah in the hallway. Although the film doesn't show what happened next, this might just be a red herring from the director. The last person has the least screen time. She appears on the night Han Sol-ah is arrested. At that time, Cha Woo-sok used the excuse of delivering insurance files to visit the detective for information. As he left, he ran into a white-haired woman. According to the film's narration, she is the detective's wife. But as Cha Woo-sok leaves, her expression is very suspicious. Additionally, when she appeared, the director gave her a very long shot from behind. This type of shot usually signals the appearance of an important character. Therefore, she is also highly suspicious. Now, Han Sol-ah is completely cleared of the murder suspicion. Tomorrow is the 100th day memorial for her third boyfriend, Yoon Sung-jae. The cafe owner advises her not to go, but Han Sol-ah insists on seeing him off one last time. So it's no surprise that when she appears before Yoon Sung-jae's relatives, Yoon Sung-jae's mother grabs her by the collar, blaming her for her son's death. Then, Yoon Sung-jae's younger brother privately shows her his brother's insurance policy, questioning why his brother bought such a high-value policy, although the policy was cancelled long ago. The brother still suspects she intended to kill for the insurance money. Han Sol-ah is all too used to this, but she doesn't expect that faced with her calmness. The brother mistakes it for coldness, and becomes increasingly agitated, even trying to get physical. But at this critical moment, Cha Woo-sok suddenly appears. Cha Woo-sok's status is very persuasive. With his intervention, the brother leaves to attend the memorial. But Han Sol-ah doesn't get the chance to enter the main hall. Looking at the endless mountain range, memories of the two of them flash through her mind. Although he wasn't her first boyfriend, he was the only one she wanted to marry. She takes off their engagement ring, and without hesitation, throws it off the cliff. Just then, Cha Woo-sok approaches, but not to comfort her. He's there to verify new information with her. Han Sol-ah's parents also died in a fire. He questions Han Sol-ah, asking if in this series of accidents, she was truly never involved. But asking such a question at this moment was undoubtedly the final straw. Han Sol-ah no longer defends herself. Her eyes are filled with endless despair. She slowly backs away, wanting to find the lost ring, wanting all the disasters to end with her own demise. But in the nick of time, Cha Woo-sok quickly pulls her back. His reddened eyes completely betray his conscience. That's right, in his heart, Han Sol-ah is no longer a culprit, but a true victim. However, because of his position and profession, he must use the most shameful methods to reopen the victim's wounds. After all, it's the only way to find new leads. He once described himself in his car like this: "I feel like trash." Now that he has almost driven Han Sol-ah to her death, his guilt completely erupts, and this guilt will ultimately become the driving force to find the real killer.